All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It was disappointing. I was not as upset personally as a fan of Oregon as I was when Oregon lost to Washington in the Pac-12 championship game. But certainly it was disappointing to see Oregon lose to Creighton because they played well enough to win the game, and in double overtime, they just got tired. They just got tired. Now, I was watching on YouTube, can see the bullet point I've written is Creighton got a little lucky. And I think they did, but guess what? That's March. Is sometimes the breaks go your way, sometimes they don't. So this segment is going to solely be dedicated to what happened in the game, what Oregon could have done differently. And we'll touch on a couple offseason things, but maybe get into that more as the week goes on. So Creighton got a little fortunate. So too did Oregon, by the way. Creighton was not hitting their threes early in this game. And I said going into it, on the reaction show after the big win over South Carolina on Thursday, which is great for so many reasons, that Creighton is a team that shoots a lot of threes. They have a bunch of threes and they have a big guy. And the big guy wasn't able to slow down and volley Dante. 26 and 20 rebounds in your last game as a Duck. I might have to dedicate a whole segment on the show this week to the way that Kuznard and Dante played over the last couple of weeks for this Oregon team. But Oregon was not defending well early in the game. That eventually got better, but then Creighton started hitting threes. And the Blue Jays hit 15 threes in this game. Oregon hit 7. And yet, Oregon should have won the game. Oregon had the ball up 4 with less than a minute to go and found a way to let the game get to overtime. And there were a couple of mistakes. Number one, I thought that, when Kuznard had the ball up 4 less than a minute to go, Creighton doesn't have to foul yet. I thought the shot Kuznard got was quality. It was a good look. He's been hitting floaters and attacking the basket. He had another 32 in this game. He was just amazing, that guy. And gosh, he played so hard. But he got a good look to go up 6, didn't hit it. Okay. I can live with that. Creighton comes down. They get a bucket. Now they're within 2. Then Dana Altman made a coaching mistake. He made a coaching mistake because the ball got inbounded to N'Faly Dante with Oregon in a 1-in-1 situation. And Dante is the one guy who amongst the free throw shooters you wouldn't want at the line. If I were a Creighton fan, obviously in hindsight you feel this way too, if I had seen that ball get inbounded, Dante catches it and he gets fouled. If I were a Creighton fan, I'm going, oh my gosh, yes. If he hits 2 free throws, good for him. But man, he's played almost the entire game. He's had to work incredibly hard, and he's not a great free throw shooter. Dante's like high 50s, low 60s or so over the course of his career, and has been, I think, just under 60% over the last couple weeks in the Pac-12 and NCAA tournament. So that was the mistake, was the ball getting inbounded to Dante. If you're Dana Altman, you have to find a way to get that ball to Kuznard or Shellstad or Tracy or Evans. Any one of them. Or, I can't recall if Oregon had a timeout in that particular moment. Take Dante out, put Rigsby in the game. Just get free throw shooters on the floor. And if you're going to have a non-free throw shooter in the game, then you have to have him be a screen setter, not someone who is able to have the ball inbounded to him. So that was a mistake. But then there was another mistake. If you go watch the play, and look, Oregon was gassed. I mean, they've had a 7.5 player rotation for the last couple of weeks. And, a lot of teams get down to about an 8-man rotation, but I don't think Oregon has a true 8-man rotation the way that other teams do. Because I think other teams have had 8 guys that they can put on the floor and they can put out there for extended periods of time and get something from. Matt Prame was tweeting this out correctly during the game, and I think other people were noticing it as well, but anytime Rigsby or Oquendo or Mo Diawara came into the game, they were in there just to get the starters a break. Everything. And in the tournament, it of course worked. The numbers are undeniable. It was just Kuznard and Dante. Shellstad was a complimentary piece. No one else was consistently involved on offense. And you know what? Kuznard was scorching hot. And he wasn't as efficient in the Creighton game. Again, I think he was tired, but he was really efficient in the opening round win was against South Carolina. And this just became a two-man show. It was the Couisnard-Dante show. They were carrying Oregon, and everybody else that played was not contributing to their full potential. And part of that, statistically, like with the numbers they were putting up, is because Couisnard and Dante were doing a lot, but they were having to do a lot because other guys were just not able to do everything great all the time. And so I bring this up to say in that shot where Oregon needed one stop, they needed one stop with less than 10 seconds to go, Bam Tracy either doesn't make maximum effort for some reason. Watching Bam this year, he's not a great defender, but I don't get the sense he's someone who's super lazy. So I'm going to attribute this to just physical exhaustion here. If you watch the shot, they set the screen. Dante shows the help. Tracy wheels around going over the screen as he should because you can't give up a 3 in that spot. Don't want to give up a 2 either, but you'd rather give up a 2 than a 3. Tracy comes around, guy drives, stops, and then Tracy just kind of puts his arms down and goes for the rebound. And he doesn't stay on top of the guy and gives him essentially an open fadeaway, 8 to 10 footer. And he hits it. Those were the 2 mistakes. And then, the third mistake you got to throw in there as well is Dante not hitting free throws. Like, go up there and, make at least one free throw. Even if you split the pair, even if you just make one. Can't guarantee that Creighton will get a good look for 3. Not when Oregon knows they're going to have to go for a 3 in that spot because the clock was probably a little bit too late to try and go for a 2 and a foul, but maybe they would have. I don't know. But those were the mistakes in order to me. Was inbounding the ball to Dante was the biggest mistake that Oregon made in the game. Tracy not being able to stay with his guy and giving him that quality of a look when you just need one stop to win the game. And then, at the other end, Couisnard got a good look on a floater, and unfortunately it just didn't fall. But, mistake number 3, Dante just not hitting free throws. And unfortunately, that's what it comes down to in March. Like, could this Oregon team have won a national championship? Probably not. Probably not. Could they have made a run to the Final Four? Absolutely. It's March. Crazier things have happened. And, you look at what NC State is doing. NC State won 5 games in 5 days to win the ACC tournament. Oregon won 3 games in the Pac-12 tournament. And they weren't going to get in otherwise. Neither team. And NC State's in the Sweet 16. Oregon could just as easily be there playing Tennessee. Could they have beaten Tennessee? Sure. Anytime you got Couisnard, who in the 2 NCAA tournament games averaging 36 a contest, and you got Dante, who's just a beast and a force down low in so many facets at both ends of the floor. It was disappointing, right? Was I frustrated? Was I like, oh my gosh, they missed such a huge opportunity? No. Important to understand. This was such a great end of the year. And I'm going to talk about this more as the week goes along because I have several thoughts on the matter, but this was a great end of the year. This was exciting. This was fun. It was great to be there. It was great to have a chance. Did I ever feel like this team was Final Four capable? No. But did I feel like they could get to the Sweet 16, maybe the Elite 8? Yeah. And if you get there, maybe you get a lucky break, every now and then. I don't know. But, you want to give yourself a chance. They did that. And unfortunately, that final sequence, that's rough. Like the number of times, if the other team had the ball and Oregon was down 4 with less than a minute to go, I would not feel great in any way, shape, or form that Oregon would be able to get to overtime. I know it'd be hard and everything would have to go your way. And it did. That just sucks sometimes. And that's how Oregon's the Oregon careers end for Couisnard and Dante. And that part of it stinks. So, Oregon was right there, had a chance, felt at several times down the stretch like they were going to put the nail in the coffin, win the game, and they just couldn't do it. And you went to your 2 guys who were getting you there, but Dante missed a free throw, Couisnard missed a floater, Couisnard couldn't hit the game winner. Who else are you going to go to in those spots? They got good looks, just couldn't get it done. Quick note, Oregon baseball won another Pac-12 series. That's 3 straight series wins to begin Pac-12 play. They've got a 4-game set with Seattle U in a non-conference slate out of the Western Athletic Conference this week. They're 15-7 this year. Solid place to be for Mark Wasikowski's team. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Ducks.